Good morning, YouTube Bike Smokers. So here's some more car talk. What kind of service should you be doing to your vehicle? Now, this is a rough question because most manufacturers capitalized on the fact that most people, in the case of transmissions, never service their transmission anyway. It was the forgotten component. So that's why a lot of times you're hearing the unit sealed, which is not true, by the way. Lifetime guarantee, lifetime fluid. You'll hear remarks like that. No need to change it for 100,000 miles. The whole reason that came about is because nobody was doing it anyway, for the most part. So through marketing, they figured they'd capitalize that as a benefit. All I mean by a sealed unit, by the way, is they eliminated the dipstick tube in a lot of cases, so you physically cannot check the transmission level. Um, it has to be checked uh, as many different ways. Sometimes, like we have different dipsticks for different cars. The tube is there, but there's no stick. Mercedes is one that comes to mind. Chrysler does a similar thing. Then you have the ones there's no stick, and you have to check it from underneath, either through a plug. You remove the plug and start the car. If the fluid runs out, it's full. Others, yet you need a scan tool to check the fluid. All kinds of bizarre scenarios. You have to bring it up to a certain temperature and then check the fluid. It's amazing how something that used to be so simple turned into a complicated mess. But that being said, in my opinion, most transmissions will make it to 100,000 miles plus without servicing the transmission. The two detriments to any mechanical thing are heat and lack of lubrication for the most part. There's certain scenarios that a part can break inside because, let's face it, it's a mechanical item. Anything can happen. Things do fail, things do break prematurely for many different reasons. So you have those failures when it's premature, hopefully under warranty. But getting back to the transmission service end of things, or even your car service, a lot of cars or trucks no longer have grease fittings, so that's out of the equation. Some still do. You have to check yours. So they took a lot of the service elements out of the picture. But there's two things to always monitor. Like I mentioned before, I believe, when you go into a parking space, look at the space that you're driving into, see what the ground looks like, and when you pull out, see if there's any spots from your car. Those are indications that you have a leak that you should think about. In the summer, you get fooled sometimes by the condensation from the AC, but always be alert about the ground you park over and just glance at it every now and then, even in your garage at the house or your driveway home. Monitor if there's a leak, and if you see something, address it. In the case of the newer transmissions, like a CVT, those, in my opinion, should be serviced much more frequently because that transmission, the fluid is always under stress because there's a lot going on in that transmission, and the fluid breaks down relatively quick. And it's expensive fluid, $20 a quart typically. They don't hold a lot, 6 to 8 quarts. I would have it done at a dealer, but be warned, every time you go to the dealer, they're going to try to sell you something. Typically, struts is always on their agenda because it's hard to prove if struts are good or bad. It's many times an opinion thing. An absolute strut that's bad will be leaking, but most struts nowadays do not leak. They'll do the bounce test, and that's like I said, that's an opinion, and they'll always try. You'll see. They'll always mention struts usually. Wiper blades is another one, which wiper blades do fail frequently. Well, let me tell you something. Wiper blades have gotten very, very expensive. I bought a set of blades. My cost for a customer the other day, it was $40 for the set. They were 22-inch blades for a truck. My cost. So you put $60, which is not unreasonable, on the bill for wiper blades. And I myself would say, holy crap, $60 for wiper blades. The guy's ripping me off. But it's unbelievable. And they got more expensive ones than that. It's incredible. So that's another thing. Pay attention. Stop in. Even if you're not automotive, walk into an AutoZone or O'Reilly's or whatever you have by you and look at some of the prices of different items. So you get accustomed to what things cost, and it'll help you make a decision if what somebody's telling you is a totally rip-off price or something within line. Like I mentioned, the CVT transmission fluid is $20 a quart. Regular plain Jane transmission fluid you can get for $5 or $6. So those are the kinds of things. Educate yourself in those type of when you get a chance. And if you can't get out to the store, just do a search. All those automotive places have websites. But be careful if you compare things, compare apples to apples. I mentioned before there's good parts and bad parts. Front end parts and stuff like that is Moog is the name that's recognized. In struts, it's usually a name brand, Monroe, or some of the other names is not coming to mind right now. But there's common ones, and then there's the cheap knockoffs. Cheap knockoffs, you always get what you pay for. It's like anything else. So compare apples to apples when you make a judgment. And anyway, I hope that helps, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you.